but I actually had an uncle who was a locksmith.
Okay.
He was a captain on the Norfolk Police Force, and he did this on the side. And then when he retired from the force, he bought out the old Rosenfield hardware that was down in South Norfolk here for, I don't know, 100 years. So I started working with him when I was still in high school, and basically he taught me the business. And just about January 2nd or 3rd, I think, that I started. And that was 21 years ago. And as they say, the rest is history. I enjoy the business. One of the things I really enjoy about it is my uncle. He specialized in antique work, and he taught me a lot of the stuff about that. Basically, he used to do it in the days when, I mean, if you didn't have a tool, you made it. And if you didn't have a part, you made it, because you couldn't get them. And actually, for a lot of years, that was a big part of my business, was doing antique work. I worked for a number of antique dealers in the area, from Greenwich up to Southport, basically working on stuff, you know, 100, 200, you know, years old. One of my favorite ones was a guy in Weston, was an antique collector. And he had a piece that was locked, and he had bought it, couldn't get it open. And I went up, and, you know, we got the thing open, and I fit a key to it, and I was talking to him about it. I said, you know, it's definitely an old one, because he was asking me. Apparently, what he was told at the auction was it was actually a typesetting cabinet that belonged to Ben Franklin.
Really? Now,
whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I knew the lock mechanism and all was at least 200 years old from the hand forging and, you know, just the way it was set up. Almost impossible. And a lot of these up here, I actually have been here longer than me. There's a lot of from companies that haven't been in business in 50 years.
Yeah.
You know, I have a lot of stuff from the Norwalk Lock Company, which was located right over right over here in South Norwalk. Siegel, which used to be right around the corner here on Chestnut Street. And yeah, it's, you get someone comes in, they need a specific key, you say, okay, I'll order it. You order 10 of them, they get one, and 9 of them sit here for another 10 years.
Yeah.
Nowadays, everything's going electronic. You almost need a degree in computers to work on any of the stuff these days. The car locks are a big part of that. You know, nowadays they all have the transponder chips, and they're all hooked into the computers within the cars. And to be honest with you, I know a lot of guys that have just gotten out of it, myself included. I used to do, car work used to comprise probably about 40–50% of my business. And once they started going to all the electronics and, you know, and the equipment you have to buy and everything, it just got to be to the point where it's just, you know, better just tell them go to the dealer. I mean, basically, the car manufacturers have taken the keys out of the locksmith's hands. Most of it's just really too expensive and too technologically advanced for most of us to really bother with. I mean, I use, you know, probably probably about 5 different machines just for cutting keys. Most of them are generic, you know, duplicators, but I do have specialty machines. I actually have, this one here is actually older than I am, but it still works, and it cuts the round style, what they call the ace keys that are used in vending machines and that kind of thing. That's all it does. But, you know, without it, I have to turn away the customers, which I don't. That's, you know, another aspect is really grown in the business is the computer. You know, I mean, when I started out, you know, I mean, I had the ledger that I would write in and, you know, basically keep all my records by handwritten. I mean, now my computer, I lost the hard drive last December, and I went nuts. You know, thank God I had a backup hard drive. A couple of schools. There was a, you know, famous, and they're still around today, Foley Bell Saw, which, you know, you see their ads in the back of the magazines, you know, be a locksmith, earn, at the time, $15, $20 an hour. And, you know, a lot of people did go that route. You know, but like I say, when I started out, it was really, it was an industry that you learn from experience. and you know the directions and all can take you just so far. But by doing it over and over again, you know, that's really the only way to learn this business. Over at one of the restaurants over on Washington Street, apparently Sunday night, someone had gone into one of the restrooms and couldn't get out. So I had to go over there and repair the lock there so that they could actually get out of it. I mean, they came out. I have a very good friend in Darien who's a locksmith, and he basically he doesn't like to try to pick the new Schlage locks. He says they're almost impossible to pick. I love them. I can pick them in a heartbeat. The manufacturer says, "Oh, you can't pick that." I was like, "Okay, that's a challenge." So you know, we picked them.